Pivoting can be thought of as a special case of the controlled failure pattern. Whereas with controlled failure, you care principally about minimizing the amount of waste you would have by pursuing a product or a service that's no longer likely to be a good return on investment. With pivoting, you have the additional motivation of wanting to make sure that the organization doesn't stumble, that its momentum is retained, right? So it's not just about cutting your losses, it's about making sure that a company can grow. Pivoting is, if you like, the controlled failure of the lean startup movement. That's essentially what it is. Now, with a pivot, what you will do is you will produce a minimum viable product, an MVP, which will be done to evaluate a certain assumption about the market, to test a certain hypothesis. And if that hypothesis is validated, then all well and good. You can continue with developing that idea. If it isn't, then again, as you would with controlled failure, you want to minimize any losses, but you also want to make sure that the head of steam that you've built up isn't lost. So rather than, fail, you pivot. You change direction slightly. It's a bit like skiing down a slope. And you do a stem Christie. You put your the ski pole down and you pivot around that, but the momentum is retained. So examples of pivoting might be pivoting to a different delivery platform. You might pivot to a different solution architecture. You might even pivot to a different customer. All of these represent slight changes in course adjustment compared with the major upset of actually failing a project, tearing all of its infrastructure down, and then restarting with something else. With pivoting, all you do is to change the MVP, the minimum viable product that you are working on at a particular point in time, to make sure that the cost of validated learning is minimized, and to make sure that a team can stay together, can stay focused, and can still deliver something, even if that something turns out as a result of experience and discovering things about the market not to be quite the thing that they anticipated to begin with.